J.D. Vance made an appearance on CNN. This was ahead of the horror that unfolded there in West Palm Beach. But let me go to this because I'm kind of wondering if he sort of like ended her career. I'm joking a little bit, but not entirely. So Dana Bash is an anchor on CNN. See, we're equal opportunists here. We picked on ABC. We got to go over to CNN for a little bit. We hit, Morning Joe on Friday. So again, equal opportunists in terms of pointing out the insanity in the media. But J.D. Vance actually also pointed out the insanity in the media. Take a look at him really schooling, if you would, Dana Bash from CNN.
Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes.
She's like, okay, I got it. The workup to him sort of exploding on her was just jumping in, correcting, etc. Look, he is persona non grata in the media. Whoever got that slot, by the way, was going to be persona non grata. It's a difficult slot to be in as VP. Remember, guys, I told you, watch him. I thought he stood a very, very good shot at getting it. I also said keep an eye on Doug Burgum because Doug had the quality that sometimes you want in a VP, like somebody who's just going to be a little bit of a wallflower, make the donors happy, go off into the corner and do their thing. J.D. Vance is not that guy. So I suspect a lot of this pick had to do with the first attempt on Donald Trump's life. And at that point, he was kind of looking for a successor to the movement. And that kind of brought JD more and more into the front view. I think Vivek Ramaswamy also had a shot at that, but Vivek has never been in politics, right? He just came out running. Very successful guy in business, incidentally. I interviewed him in New York just last Monday, actually. It's amazing how quickly the time is going. That's what happens when you're in a fast news cycle. So I interviewed Vivek, and he was spot on. He was absolutely brilliant. He's got a tremendous number of ideas on what can happen in government, the changes that need to happen, right? So that you have more of a meritocracy, that you have more opportunity in government because it's just become too staid and too difficult. And so he really, really is a smart guy. I've always said that about Vivek. JD, obviously very smart too, has a political background. Incidentally, they both went to Harvard together, law school, and they both, I think it's Harvard, right? It could be Yale. Whoops. I went to Columbia, so, I don't take the Harvard-Yale thing that seriously, but one of those schools. He grew up 15 minutes from him in Ohio, so I think one of the things that Vivek is interested in is if J.D. Vance makes it to the White House, then there's an opportunity for an open Senate seat, and that would get him sort of in the political arena in a much bigger way. Right now, he's just got a lot of ideas, and believe me, the guy has a lot of ideas. He's been very successful within the biotech space, so we need ideas. We need people that actually have experience in business, have experience in real life, coming to the front and center, instead of the likes of Kamala Harris, who, I'm sorry, do we need another lawyer? They're all lawyers, for goodness sakes, in D.C. I'm kind of tired of it. At least Vivek, he's got the law school background, but at least he went out and did something in business. Same with JD, by the way. He's actually really smart and accomplished on that front because he was working in private equity. I mean, we need more people, thank you very much, that come from the private sector that are going into politics instead of people that have devoted their entire careers to the political arena, which is something that, by the way, this lady Kamala Harris, of course, did. And it's reflected. It's reflected a lot, shall we say. We just were watching earlier that unintelligible answer that she gave to the ABC reporter when asked about how she was going to convince Trump voters to come over to her side of things. You would think, with all the time in politics and all the time in a courtroom, she'd actually be a better speaker, but nope, she's not.